I'm Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to Southwest Magazine. Canadian actress Kandyse McClure is one of the stars of Virgin River, the wildly popular Netflix series known for its cozy small-town charm, sweeping scenery, and heartfelt storytelling. While the series is set in a fictional North California town, much of Virgin River is actually filmed in beautiful British Columbia, giving the show its lush forests, rugged coastline, and warm Pacific Northwest atmosphere that viewers around the world have fallen in love with. McClure plays Kaia Bryant, a strong and compassionate firefighter who is learning to love and accept small-town life. Since joining the cast, she has brought a grounded warmth and confidence to the close-knit world of Virgin River, a place where neighbors rally around one another and every storyline feels deeply personal. As fans continue to celebrate Season 7 and speculate about what may lie ahead in Season 8, McClure joins us from her home in Vancouver to talk about the success of the series, filming in British Columbia, and becoming part of one of television's most beloved small-town dramas. So this is your introduction to our part of the world, the other side of Canada, small town, where we have one of your stars, John Ralston, aka Roland, in our neighborhood. So Virgin River, I got to tell you, is the biggest deal out here. I know it's the biggest deal everywhere, though.
You know, it's so amazing to me, the power of this show, that it is. I mean, I think people are just ready for it, you know? I think people are just ready for a show that centers care, relationships, models, really healthy interpersonal relationships, friendships, community involvement. And yes, we don't always get along. There's always a bit of drama. There's always some tension, something we got to work out, you know. But we do work it out, and we work it out together. The people involve themselves in each other's lives and check on each other and follow up. I think that's the thing that we're all craving, is just getting back to community care. And Virgin River really does that.
Can you believe, though, when Virgin River is becoming the longest running Netflix show. You're passing Grace and Frankie now that you're going to have Season 8, which I know everyone's excited about. You will be the longest running Netflix show. What does it say about where we are in the world right now that a show about small town life is this biggest show on these streaming platforms?
That humans want to be around other humans, that actually it's just the most basic need. And when the world feels topsy-turvy and we're unsure about things and we can't see the road ahead of us, that we default to being with one another. And here is this example of it, that people welcome into their living rooms. And really, you know, even though we just connect on social media, hopefully we'll connect with the fans in real life one of these days. I hope this convention idea takes off. I really want to be able to meet people. Because that's when you really get the sense of the impact that the work that you're doing has on people's lives. But people invite us into their living rooms. They do feel like they know us. We are their girlfriends and, you know, their neighbors. And I get it in Costco all the time. They're like, "Do I know you? Did you used to go to high school with my?" And I was like, "No. I'm just around when you're eating dinner or folding the washing or like." You know, having that quiet glass of wine at the end of the day or a cup of tea, that peaceful moment. And I love that people also describe that they watch it with people. I think that's also part of it. Um, the ladies love posting, making fun of their husbands because they'll be sitting and the husbands will be standing and they're just like, "Oh, your stupid show. I don't know why you watch this." Oh, sorry, what's Brady doing?
What was it like for you, though, to join a show that was already a phenomenon? You weren't part of Season 1, so in a way I think that's kind of not a blessing, because you came to it when it was already this phenomenon worldwide. Was it intimidating for you to enter a set that had already made this impact, and how did they embrace you?
You know, yes, there's always, of course, that's just a natural human kind of feeling. I was like, oh, okay. My response to situations like that is just to prepare, just be overly prepared. So it was great. I walked onto set. I knew my work. I had done a lot of physical movement, a lot of research around her occupation. I had watched the show. And when I watched the show, you watch it for tone and for pacing, and you kind of go, oh, okay, this is why people are watching this. Like, these are the beats. And what I love about the show is that it really has like breath in it. There are times where it's more fast paced, but there are also moments where it just lets things sit. So it's like merging onto traffic, right? You got to kind of speed, you got to speed up and then find your way in. Um, but everybody was so lovely. And I think the distinguishing feature of successful shows like this, and I've experienced it a couple of other times, is that the show is first. Everybody is there to make the show. The story is the main character. We are all in service of it in our own ways and in our own lanes, but we're all working towards a common goal, and that North Star keeps things very clear about where priorities are. And so as soon as I recognized that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. The driver of this show is the show. The tone of the show, the pace of the show, the storyline. We talk about it. There's all this, this is a group of actors that try things out and talk to each other about what do you think and can we try this and let's work this a little bit. Call each other up. We have read throughs. And I was like, oh, okay, I understand this. This is a set that I understand. And that's just really where it began. Of course, I did have a friendly face. I'd known Colin previously, so he was a friendly and welcoming face. But everybody was just like, hey, it's really good to see you. You must be playing Kaia. Welcome. And I was like, oh, thanks.
What was it like stepping into the role of Kaia? How did you prepare for it, especially where the series of books, Virgin River
Yes.
versus the TV series, they both have their own life. They're both huge fan following. But Kaia not being represented in the books the same way, how did you take her on as a character? But having known Colin, who plays Preacher, I guess that was also very helpful too.
Yes, he gave me some of the scoop. I was like, so how does this work and how does that go? Um, right. I did look at the books just because you want a sense of the world that you're in and what its driver is. And I was like, okay, women run this show. This is a story about women who go through things in their lives and uh, take journeys to come back to themselves. I was like, okay, that's always the heroine's journey. So we've got that as kind of a placeholder. But of course, I watched the show. But because she is not in the books, I had a bit of freedom with her. I was like, okay, this character is being written to offer a different perspective. She is representing something different than what we've already seen. And I could see that it was something a bit more complicated, a little edgier, maybe not as kind of clean cut as some of the other avenues in. She had a bit of a messy breakup. It was a bit of overlap going on initially, and I was like, ooh, that's going to stir the pot a little bit. I don't know how people are going to feel about that, but I understood that she, as all the women on the show do, represent a kind of woman. And so that's what I sought to find is who is the woman that I'm representing? One that has come out of a difficult relationship, that has chosen herself, that has thrown herself back into her career, uh, but has kind of she's a bit of a girl in a boys club. She's chosen quite a unique career. So what is that about? I met with firefighters, both urban and wildland firefighters. I learned the training. I learned what it meant to be on the outside. I watched a lot of movies about firefighters, um, and even just kind of small town life and what those priorities are and what those values are. I am a bit of a research nerd, though. That, like I said, that's how I deal with nerves and uncertain situations, is that I kind of gather all these things. And, sometimes they don't make sense exactly at the time, but I found that something that I've picked up, some conversation that I had, some bit of physical training that I started into, then helps inform in the moment what I'm doing. And of course, it's all about your scene partner. And I learned so much from just being in scenes with so many different people as the seasons went on, and very grateful for that. That she has this community now. She has friends and a job, and she's more of herself. She's not just there for him, but she's building this life for herself.
What's it like for you to film in British Columbia? Really, you're from South Africa originally, but your home province here in Canada is British Columbia. To see that part of Canada become really Hollywood North, and to have so much of the work you've done be based in a place that is so familiar to you, what is that like? And what is it like joining a long-running show that is based in your part of the world?
I'm so proud, actually. Beautiful BC. And as much as, I've been in this job a long time, Vicki.
We're the same age.
We've been doing it, girl. We've seen things, we know things. Um, that BC has come into its own in such a remarkable way these last few years, that increasingly shows are shooting British Columbia for Columbia. We see that in some other shows that are produced here, but also that we're not just an auxiliary to Hollywood anymore. We are our own place. We have the talent pool and the crews and the scenery. And particularly with this show, the scenery is, it's not even the scenery, the landscape, the land, the mountains, the river, the meadows, the sky are a character of the show. People watch the show as much for these beautiful backgrounds as they do for us. And again, it goes back to that really simple need to we need to feel like we're in nature. We need to look and see sky. It's powerful to watch rivers and mountains and to put ourselves in context to those things, to natural beauty. And it's so important to see that. Better if you go outside and do it. But a close second would be to watch Virgin River. No,
Have
I
you
love it. Our studio was 10 minutes from my house last season. Not anymore, unfortunately. The studio is moved. But yeah, it's been great.
has it, and I know that it's set in Northern California, but I think it's well known that it's shot in British Columbia. Has there been this burst of tourism that we see when a show becomes popular, the way Virgin River has become popular, where people want to discover where these locations are?
Absolutely. There are definitely adventure tourists who are seeking out Jack's Bar and the river and like, where's the house? Where's Preacher's house? Where's the fire hall? And they found out. It's great. But also as a way to showcase, I live in a suburb. Well, I don't, you may know, New Westminster. I love it here. It's such an eclectic place and sort of surprising in so many ways. I sort of found myself here, and then I was like, "Oh, this is great! This is wonderful! How emblematic of Canada this city is." But Virgin River shoots a lot here, so we have tourist spots in the city where it's like, you know, the girls went out with Mel, and this is the bar that they were at, or this is the street they were on, and it's great.
I'd love for you to tell our viewers how you got started in acting, because it wasn't something that you, as a young person, were out pursuing. It was an opportunity that presented itself to you.
I said yes, an opportunity that actually came to my mother initially, strangely, through such curious means. It was a fringe festival play, and they needed a South African teenager to play the role. And I was one. And I would come out of high school and I didn't really know what I was going to do. I think I was applying to the University of Guelph. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to work and go to school. And my mom's like, go do this play. I got this phone call. I can't do it. They don't want me. Why don't you go and try? And I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but it was like a summer job. And I thought, oh, this is great. But then it just was the series of moments of learning things about the stage, of being in class and doing, rehearsing. Uh, the stamina required for theater and the volume of words and the all the learning how to project, and we sold out these performances, and I realized the kind of power and privilege of storytelling that you done well, with the right words and the right collaborators in the right way. There's this magical moment where you have people's attention and they are suspended outside of the busyness of their own lives, and they allow you to tell them something so that they can experience something different, a different perspective, a different emotion, a different point of view. And I thought, this is like something else. This is not just, glamour or superficial. This is a real tool, a pathway, there's something kind of ephemeral and otherworldly about it. And that kind of, I was like, yes, let's do that.
It's the magic that we take for granted when we're at home and we see it on the screen. When you approach a character like Kaia, when you see it in a script, what's the first thing that gets going in your mind? How do you start taking what you see on paper and making it the character that you play? I'll use Kaia as an example since we're talking Virgin River.
Kaia was a real gift because she met me at a time in my life where we had a lot in common, actually. And so it was kind of healing for me because I just sort of gave this life experience that I had at the time to her because I recognized her on the page. I was like, I understand where this woman is. I really do. She is in the messy middle of this thing and she is trying to find her way back to herself. And she's got this real, confident bravado on the outside, but I feel like there's something simmering underneath. But what a great opportunity to play both those things. And yeah, to be this kind of dream version of this woman. And so because I recognized that in her, I just turned up the volume of what I knew about that and did that through her. But yeah, you kind of, sometimes it's a different approach. You kind of read it and take it in, and then you read it again and start picking up words. You start looking at the environment or the clues. It really is like an investigative thing. You go, oh, what's my way in? Is it the work that she does? Is it the physicality? Is it the way that she speaks, the words that she uses? If she had a theme song, what would it be? And so you just keep kind of reading it once broadly, and then you just sort of keep narrowing it down until you find a rhythm, or just sometimes there's a word, a sentence, a thing that encapsulates, uh, what it is. And I think there were a lot of things about there were a lot of moments like that for Kai, one of which in season 5 where she hops over that bar and I was like, okay. So we run towards, we do not run from, we go we are running to something. Got it. um she likes her drinks neat. She takes what she wants, and if she wants it again, she knows where to find you. And I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is spicy. Let's start there and see how we go."
What's it been like as an actor to take on a character that especially now, you know you're playing this character for years. It's one of those series that is just a part of our lives. What does it mean as an actor to have that time with someone that you get to invest in a person for this long, to take those mannerisms and just, in a way, they become you?
I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Exactly that is that you get to live this person. And so there's an opportunity for growth. There's change, just as people. There's an opportunity to change her mind, to see different sides of her, to understand who she is as a friend, as a boss. When she feels low. And, every script, every season just kind of deepens that. And you do that same process. You go back and you go, okay, what clues do I have about who I'm being shown this year, who I get to be, and you get to live those answers, right? And it's so lovely because once you establish the kind of marrow of who she is, then she just gets to live. Then she just gets to experience these things and fall and get back up and go, oh, this is what I've gleaned from this experience. Oh, this is the kind of friend that I am, or the kind of friend that I need in my life. This is how she deals with these situations. And it's as much a learning for me as it is. But you you do inhabit them. And part of the consequence of that is you get quite protective. Actually, I think is where it is now, is that I become quite protective of her because I know how she speaks. I know what she likes. I know. So that's fun when you're getting the lines, and and the writers are so great about this. They want the words to come out as you, the character, you know, feel that they should. So as long as you don't change the meaning, they're really open to having you make it yours. And I really appreciate that. And that's happened quite a bit, thankfully. Well, I'd be like, well, I don't really feel like she'd say it like this. Can we try that? And I'd be like, yeah, that's great. You could just do that. And so you feel, an ownership is the wrong word, but she does occupy space in my heart and in my mind. I think about her and how she will be and how she's going to, react. Like, what's this going to mean?
I feel if I don't ask, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble with our viewers who are viewers of the show. So are you filming season 8 right now? Is
No,
there
you're not.
anything you...
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to tell you, we're not shooting it right now. Listen, we all want to get back to work. No, not yet. I'm waiting for the phone call.
Um, as we get to the end of this interview, any final words for my neighbor, John Ralston, who plays Roland, who I think left a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of season 7?
Kind of a major cliffhanger. I mean, I fell in love with Hope and Doc's storyline. I think it's such an important and beautiful love story that's represented in the show, along the lines of, you can always fall in love. You can always start again. You can always find your way back to each other, to yourself. Annette O'Toole, of course, is just such a force of nature. What an experience. But watching this triangle, I guess, maybe, I don't know, develop over the course, I was just like, what is going to happen? And Roland on the page, John really lifted that character up and gave him so much depth and breadth and this humor and this sort of sly, you can kind of see like, oh, okay, this is what that relationship was. This is he really matches Hope's energy and intensity, but also sees her so much for who she is. And John did such a beautiful, but he rides up on that horse, and I was like, watch out now. Hope looking a little flustered. We're all feeling a little hot under our hats at this rodeo. What?
And Kandyse, so your character Kaia, is
Yep.
this love of small town life Despite her adrenaline rushes, her love of her career, it's starting to get to her, the sewing groups, wanting to be a part of community. Where do you see her going next?
I hope to, because there's so many layers about that, Um, she does have this kind of restlessness and this burning sort of intensity that I think needs to be channeled. Um, and being somebody as physical as she is, it's like, what is that outlet? But the feeling that I was left with this season is like, yes, she's fearless, but it's like she's fearless about fire, but like not about love, That love is this kind of scary, complicated thing, and she's so seemingly new to all these emotions. Um, and as much as she wants expansiveness in her own life and for Preacher to be the best person that what does that mean? Like, where do I end and you begin? What is that liminal space between us? And that, I think, is the scariest thing for her, is that stillness and kind of feeling her feelings are coming back to herself. And I would love to see more of where she came from. What were the conditions that really created this person? Who runs into fires and jumps out of airplanes? Like, who are you? What is the family that you came from that built this in you? What kind of kid she was. I need some family members to make fun of me a little bit, maybe. I think that kind of put her in context. But I do love the relationships that she's built, the friendships that she has with Bree um and I think her and Mel have a really special relationship too. They don't spend as much time together, but um Mel being that first voice kind of her Virgin River, that they were in the situation together. They had to save these lives together, that they have this great simpatico, and I'd love to see more of that, of course.
Well, we look forward to seeing more of you on the screen. Thank you so much for this interview today, and we look forward to following your career both with Virgin River and everywhere else you go. Thank you so much, Kandyse. That was my interview with Kandyse McClure of Virgin River. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.